Tiger 1200. What's so bloody good about it anyway? First thing to possibly apologise for, I'm trying the chest mount for the camera today on this bike. I don't know whether it'll get obscured by the screen too much though, you know, the view. But I'm trying it for once anyway. So, what is so good about this bike then? Not necessarily compared to the Harley, just in general, you know. Well, the first thing I like about it, the riding position is different, but it is well comfortable. It's very upright. You can see over the top of cars, which is really good on, you know, dual carriageways and motorways and that. And it's quite upright. It doesn't hurt your back. Only thing I would say about the Harley riding position, which is very comfortable, it is comfortable, but it does, if you let it, it encourages you to slouch into the seat, which after a bit can make your the bottom of your back, your coccyx hurt, you know. You don't really get that on this because it's quite a straight up position, you know. I'm in Newdigate, by the way, around there. Doing 42 in a 30, slow down a bit. Yeah, alright, yeah. There you go. There we go. Other than the riding position, what is there on this bike? Well, it's got an engine. What you say, they all have engines. Yes, of course they do. But this has got a 3-cylinder 1200cc engine, making about, pushing 140 horsepower and about 90 foot-pounds of torque, which is quite a lot of those things. And it's not revvy particularly. It makes its best power between sort of 4,000 and 6,000 RPM, I think. You can proper fucking fly at those speeds. Very, very smooth. Completely different, of course, to the Harley, which is characterful and lumpy, you know. This is more kind of, it has got character and it does make a good noise, but it's totally different. A lot more civilised, you know. This is a nice bit of road, isn't it? I've done what have I done on this bike so far? 7,000 miles on this bike so far in the 18 months I've had it. Hasn't missed a beat, touch wood. And it has got, in fairness, very low. It's only got 10,968 miles on it now. Oh, that'll be 11,000 in a moment, won't it? I like the fact that it's shaft drive, in the same way I like the fact that the Harley is belt drive. There's very little or no maintenance whatsoever. I have heard that at 50,000 miles they can get a bit wonky, these shaft drives, but let's be honest, I'll have another one before then anyway. Probably. Maybe. The handling is really, really nice for such a tall bike. You would think it would like want to fall over, wouldn't you? But it doesn't. It does handle really sweetly. high vehicles. Am I coming to Ockley, I wonder? I don't know. Here we go. I'll go around here, mate, shall I? Yeah, alright. I've probably said before, but very good level of equipment on this bike, really. You know, I think I have said actually, but heated seats, heated seat. Oh my god. Heated grips, spotlights that I always forget to put on. Let's put them on now, eh? Traction control, obviously ABS. All the stuff on the dash is nice, fuel gauge, clock, you know, all that stuff that you get. Very nice. These handguards are very good for keeping the wind off, keeping your hands cool. Sorry, keeping your hands warmer, which is nice. It's a bike that's made to be ridden. I happen to like the look of it, but I would understand if somebody didn't. But that's not really its primary function. Its primary function is to go for journeys, and I think it does. Well, I think it does do that very well. I've done some journeys on it, but I think it's going to do it great as well. We've got a trip to the Pyrenees in about 6 weeks on this bike. The seat is comfy. As I say, the riding position is going to be good. It's great for a pillion. My wife's coming. Comes with a top box and full luggage. The panniers ain't so bright, to be honest, but you know, they're not the ones that lift off from the top. Oh yeah, A24. They lift off from the sort of sideways down, you know, which are the cheaper ones really, but to replace them still costs £1,000 or something. Having worked at Triumph, I can tell you that for sure. But I'm not going to replace them. I only use them 3 or 4 times a year, if that. So I bought some like inner bags for them, and they'll go in there, and that'll be okay. I've got a immobiliser coming for the bike as well. Not an immobiliser. It's already got a bloody immobiliser. A tracker is what I mean. I have heard about bike thefts in France being a thing nowadays. Although I must admit, I've been to France many times on a bike and not really considered it. Well, except once they tried to steal my brother's R1 in Toulouse. But that was barely France at all. I couldn't see a French person there. I drive up and down this road in my van for work, and there is often a speed camera on this road. So if I were you, Orange Van, I would slow the fuck down. As you can probably see on the screen, we've got the old French Crit Air thing, which has been discontinued. I think it's like a kind of that's this thing here. It's a kind of emissions thing where they charge you £4 for a sticker to say that it's a Euro 3 or Euro 4 or whatever it is, and it lasts for the duration of the bike, which isn't much of a encouragement to buy an electric vehicle, is it? We'll charge you £4 if you don't. Well, alright, you have to charge me £4, mate. Another good thing about this bike, by the way, the brakes are really, really nice. Really, really nice. About 75 times better than the Harley, which only has one front brake for a bike of that weight, one front caliper, you know, and one rear. They are nothing like it as good as this. Having said that, you tend to go slower, so perhaps you don't need it as much. This is where I like riding though, in these country places. Somebody commented on one of my other videos saying, oh, you're just riding around in the woods. And well, yeah, I am. That's what I like doing. That's what we're doing right across France. There ain't no motorways on my bloody route planner, you know. Apart from anything else, their toll roads are impossibly expensive. You know, you can do 60 quid riding from Calais to top of Normandy in tolls, and that's just for the privilege of riding along on a horrible road, windy with loads of cars. Fuck that. I'm going to enjoy the ride, hopefully. I'm hoping it isn't going to be too hot, but equally I'm hoping it's not going to be raining. You can't tell, can you? It's been very hot in England in the last few weeks, and it's going to be hot again next week, but today's a bit of a in-between day. It's a nice little village, isn't it, Cape Horn? I'm waiting on a new pair of tyres for this. That's the last thing I need. They have arrived, my friend has them, but I just need to get time to get them fitted. The back tyre's actually got quite a lot of tread on it, but it got a puncture and I plugged it, and the front one's quite low, so I just thought just get a new pair and then we know where we start, don't we? Gearbox is quite agricultural on this. The Harley gearbox is better than the Triumph gearbox. It is. But it is better than the 1050 I had previously, which was fucking terrible. Just absolutely, how do they get away with selling those things? I do think this has got more character than a Japanese equivalent bike. I don't know what equivalent there would be, possibly well, I don't know, there isn't a triple. Yeah, what the MT-09, they do a sort of adventure bike version, don't they? I can't remember what they call it. But I think it's got a bit more soul to it than that. I promise I will drive carefully. Promise. I like the fact it's got a hydraulic clutch as well. Again, less bother, and also a bit lighter. My hand plays up a bit sometimes, and so it's nice to have quite a light clutch. Cruise control on the other side there, look, it's alright. I don't use it very often. The only time I'd use it is if I want to stretch my arm or something, you know, for 20 seconds or something. It scares me a bit, but it does work, let's say that. There's a power socket here, if you can see that. Yep. So you can plug your phone in to the socket, keep your phone charged while you're using it as a sat-nav, which I've got to be careful of. They don't like that in France, but I need a fucking sat-nav, so it's going to have to be, or we'll never get anywhere. Mind you, in the old days we didn't use a sat-nav riding across France, but then we did take some more turns as well. I rode around it completely around the peripherique around Caen in Normandy twice once, 2 full laps of it, missing the turn off for the whatever it is, A46 or whatever it is that goes to Calais. My mate just gave up and left me in the end, and we had to meet him at Dieppe, and I don't blame him. The seat is on these is full gel. On the Harley I had a gel pad put on it, which does make a difference, but on this the whole thing is gel. And what it means is, if after a period of time you have got, it does get uncomfortable, you know, and your arse is getting stiff, if you lift your behind off the seat for a few seconds and then sit back down on it, it kind of finds a new setting, if you like, you know, a new shape, and you're all right again for another like 50 or 100 miles or whatever it is, which is really good. God almighty. That appears to be a helicopter in front of us. I don't know why. Oh, I do actually. It's from they had a military show in Capel yesterday, which we've been to many times, so we didn't go yesterday because I went last year and the bloody year before and all that. And that's probably a display thing or something. They have loads of tanks and loads of stuff. It's dead good if you like stuff like that, like I do. Wish I could overtake the bloody thing. Oh well, not much further. Dusty. Picks up some dust, this bike does. I love the colour of it though, the green. I like that as well. It's unusual. They always used to say green bikes were unlucky back in the day. I think it was like an American thing, frankly. But it's not been unlucky for me. There's another closed pub. This also has a single-sided swing arm, like most Triumphs of this style, and the speed triples and all that lot, which is meant to make for stiffer handling. I don't know if it does or not really, but it looks nice. And the spoke wheels look nice as well. This being the XC model, it's a bit taller with the spoke wheels, which is meant to make it better, you know, if you're off-road. Although being off-road on a 1200cc motorbike strikes me as a bit fucking reckless, frankly. But then, last time I went off-road, I was on a KE 175 in 1981, so that was quite a long time ago, right? I wouldn't mind going up some tracks on it, you know, sort of not real mud plug-in stuff, nothing like that, but just some kind of semi-off-road green lanes or whatever, you know, when it hasn't rained for about 3 months and it's double dry. I could do that. Maybe I will. I think I shall just give up with the idea of overtaking these two vehicles and wait for a mile or something. What do I not like about this bike? That's a fair question, isn't it? I don't like the fact that it seems to have more turbulence, more wind noise around my ears because of this screen, which apparently doesn't allow enough air inside, apparently. So it tends to blow it about. I know with some people who are either shorter or taller, I don't know, it can actually shake your crash helmet, which is a disaster. It doesn't do anything like that for me, but it is noisy. I think it actually is slightly noisier than riding on the bloody Harley, which is something of a fail, really. Here we go, goodbye. I do like you big green thing. Now it does have a bit of go, this bike, as I said. I think what I'm going to do is I'll come off at the next roundabout, or the one after, and go back through Busback, back towards jolly old Crawley. That's the way to go. Not on that turning though there. That's a bloody nightmare. Here we go. Okay, well this video's been quite long enough, I think, with me wittering on. So we'll stop on the, just up here on this latest abomination of a new build. I know people have got to live, I know they have, I know they've got to live in houses, but who are we building all these houses for? There won't be any fields left at this rate. Anyway, don't get me going on that one. I'm going to sign off now, so if you've made it this far, as usual, then thank you for watching. If you could like and subscribe, or perhaps comment, that would be really nice. It'd be nice to hear from you, nice to hear what you think. So thank you very much, and goodbye. Cheers, bye bye.